What is the difference between open and closed fermentation tanks? In the world of brewing beer, a hot topic right now is the difference between open and closed fermentation tanks. With craft beer on the rise, many enthusiasts are eager to understand how these methods impact flavor and quality. If you have been searching for answers about fermentation tanks, you are in the right place. Open fermentation tanks are designed as wide, shallow vessels that are not sealed at the top. This allows the yeast to ferment the beer while being exposed to the air. This exposure can lead to the development of unique flavors and aromas, often described as more complex or traditional. The open surface also makes it easier to remove yeast and sediment after fermentation. However, this method requires careful sanitation to avoid contamination and is more vulnerable to environmental factors like temperature and airborne microbes. On the other hand, closed fermentation tanks are sealed vessels that isolate the fermenting beer from the outside environment. This design maintains a controlled atmosphere, often under pressure, which helps retain the carbon dioxide produced during fermentation. By keeping the beer isolated, closed tanks reduce the risk of contamination and allow for better control over fermentation conditions, such as temperature and pressure. Closed fermentation tanks are becoming increasingly popular in modern brewing. They provide consistency and efficiency, making them easier to automate. These tanks also help preserve delicate aromas and can speed up the fermentation process, resulting in a more predictable final product. To summarize, open fermentation tanks expose the beer to air, which can promote unique flavor development but requires more careful sanitation. Closed fermentation tanks isolate the beer, providing a controlled environment that enhances consistency and reduces contamination risk. Both methods significantly influence the final beer's flavor profile and production style. Open fermentation is often linked to traditional or specialty brews, while closed fermentation is favored for large-scale, consistent production. Understanding these differences can help you appreciate the craft of brewing even more.